Okay. So in this lecture number 3, as I was telling you that we are going to discuss something related to process only, but where in terms of sharing, data sharing or communication between the process. Lecture 2 just introduces what do we mean by process. Okay, before we continue on to this lecture, I just want to show you how can we see the list of process running in our computer. Okay, so normally, in Windows, when we do Control Alt Delete to see the task manager, so when I say task manager, we see this is actually the process as we have understand, and what are all the the list of process which are running. If you look at the process, you can see these are the process running in my system. These are the resources the process are sharing. How much percentage of CPU, how much percentage of memory, and the disk, network, and other devices, the CPU, other devices they are sharing. Okay, so this is how we normally see the process. I will show you later on in Unix in the virtual machine. How do we do that? Probably on Thursday or possibly next week we'll try to do that. Okay, the history, the user details, who is the user using the software, the details. Okay, who is the username, how much CPU I'm using, how much memory I'm using. You remember, right? Process control block. So the PCB remembers all these things. For each process, see this PID. I told you about PID. So what is PID? Process control block. Sorry, process identifier. So this is the number of the process given for each process. Whenever we start a process, a PID will be given. Okay, so this is the PID for each process. And who is the owner? I am the owner. And for this process, the system is the owner. And for this process, it's a network process. So likewise, if you can understand this, it all shows the details of each process. Like the process control block, what is the name of the process, what is the ID of the process, how long it has been running, how much CPU it is using, who is the owner, how much memory it is using, all the details related to that. Why it is showing? This is because of the process. How it is showing? This is because of the process control block, which we have discussed in lecture number 2, the PCB or process control block. Okay. Now, continuing to that, I will show you later on. There are some utilities to show the parent process and the child process, all the details. You see the process. Oh, we cannot see here actually. There are utilities. With the help of that, we can see the process tree. I will show you later on how to see that. We need to have some other utilities. Okay. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about how process cooperate with each other. What do we mean by cooperating with each other? How do they communicate with each other? How do they share the data with each other? Like cooperating between the cooperation or cooperating between the process. Okay. Now, when we have the parent and child process, how do they establish a link for sharing of the data? We are going to understand. And there is another concept called sharing of the memory with the help of pipes. This concept is from Unix. It's an example. I will show you the example how the Unix share the memory. And another way of data sharing is threads. Here we are going to see some Java examples of the threads. And there is another way of data sharing with the help of inter-process communication with the help of message passing system. I will tell you about that in the end of the lecture. So if you look at this, most of the concepts about how the process communicate, how do the process share the data between them, we are going to understand. Okay, so the process within the system may be independent or cooperating. So what is independent? They are independent, not depending on anyone. They are independent, like independent parents who are living on their own salary. They are working on their own. That is independent. Dependent means we are depending on someone, like the children depending upon the parent. Okay. So here process within the system may be independent or sometimes they are dependent or cooperating. So cooperating process can affect or be affected by other process, including sharing of the data. Why do we actually cooperate with each other? Okay, so information sharing to increase the speed of the computation, modularity, convenience. For many reasons, we do share the data. I will give one easy example to remember this concept. Sometimes we can come to college, the students, I mean, you can come to college independently in your car. You can come to college. Okay, suppose to come to the college to Sur from your location, example, any nearby city like Jalan or any other location. If you are coming to the college, you can come independently in your car, or you can come cooperating in the bus. Okay, you just remember these examples. So you can come independently by your car, or you can come by sharing bus. So we understand if you come independently by car, it is advantage, it is good. But sometimes we have to come alone. We have to be careful in driving, and we have to spend lot of money. We need to have a car. First of all, we need to have a license. There are so many problems here. But if you are coming by sharing bus, there are many advantages. Like if you say sharing, we can share the money. We can be responsible coming to the college on time, and it is actually convenient to come to the college by bus rather than coming by our own car, because we have to find the parking, we have to wait for the the traffic, so many things. So there are advantages. In the same way, when we talk about the cooperating process, they have advantages. Information sharing is like two process, they can share the information. So say for example, process 1, process 2 can share the information easily if we have cooperating process, like you are sharing the bus. Okay, now another reason is computation speed up. Why do we cooperate? Computation speed up means with the help of this sharing, one process can create child process, so that this can complete one job, this can complete the second job, this can complete the third job, so that the computation will be fast. How this is happening? Because they can share together, they can share together the information. With the help of that, they can work faster. Another way, modularity. Same example, modularity. We can break one big program into small programs. Why can we do that? We can do that to increase the speed of the program. And also, when we do that, I told you about the bus. It's a lot of convenience, easy. Just we have to sit in the bus, just pay little money, and come to the college happily, talking to the friends and just enjoying the drive. Otherwise, you have to drive, you have to have a license, money, and you have to be careful in the driving, accidents, parking space, so many problems. So convenience. In the same way, the process will be easy to share with each other. So that's the reason why the process normally cooperate with each other. Now, when they are cooperating with each other, they need to have a mechanism which is inter-process communication. There is a link, there is a way to share all of them together. How do we do that? There are two methods discussed in this lecture. One we call it as a shared memory. Second one we call it as a message passing system. So this is we are going to discuss in the end of the lecture. Now we are going to discuss about shared memory. So you can see here, I'll just show the picture, then I will go to the explanation. So process 1, this is the memory of process 1. So process 2 can share the memory with process 2. Process 1 can share the memory with process 2 by just making a link. So this is where a simple kind of a data sharing, which is called as a shared memory. If you look at the picture, process 1's memory is now shared with process 2. Okay. So a memory map family of system call allow two processes to share some region or the same region of the memory. So there are some system calls which is related to the memory. The memory map family of system calls allows two processes to share some region of main memory like this. This is achieved by overriding the operating system's normal constraint on memory access for the process. Now here, operating system does not have any role. They are cooperating, they are sharing with each other with the help of this memory map family of the system calls. Okay, in Unix, there is a concept called pipe. Remember, this is pipe. This is pipe symbol in keyboard. You might have seen on the keyboard, we have a pipe sign. So with the help of this command, I will try to show you the example of this command once we do the lab. We are going to practice this. So the pipe, this is the pipe, which I have told you. The pipe is a simple method of sharing the data. Now, just look at this command. This grep, I will explain later on. This is like a search. This is like a search command, which we want to search. So this is like a search command, searching for the keyword party from the file events.txt. Now, what is this command is doing? It is trying to search about a word called party from the file called events.txt. So we have a file events. This is the name of the file .txt. There are some keywords here. Maybe it will be having a party. Like, in Microsoft Word, we try to search for something. Now, this is the command grep is like a search thing in the Unix or Linux. So we search for this in the file. Whatever the result we are getting, it shows, okay, it find in line number 3. It find in line number 4. It has find in line number 8 or some line number 9. So the result of the search command is going to be printed into the printer. LPR is local printer. LPR is local printer. Now, if you understand this, this is one command which is printing. There is another command which is grep. Now, what we did, we tried to join these two commands with the help of this pipe sign. What happened here, I will show you with the help of a picture. Okay, now there is a common memory between two commands, grep and LPR. Now it will search, it will put the data onto this memory, and the printer is going to take the data from this memory. So grep is going to use the same memory, and LPR, the local printer, is going to share the same memory. Now, if you understand this concept, this is actually data sharing. Now, that is what the first line. The pipes provide a simple method for sharing the data. How it executes, I explained to you with the help of this picture. Hope you understand how the grep works. It search some information from the file, and it's going to print onto the printer. So these two commands are combined with the help of pipe sign, which is for the sharing of the data. That is explained here. What happens when you type the command? When we type this command, which is grep party text.event.txt LPR. So when we hit return, the shell process normally forks child process. Now it is going to create child process, because now which is told to execute the specified program. So when you link two programs with a pipe, now what are the two programs? One is searching, second one is printing. Like I told you here, one is searching, second one is printing. And what we did, we tried to combine them with the help of a pipe. Okay, so when we link two programs with a pipe, the shell, I told you, if you remember, shell is the user interface process. First, set up a buffer in the memory. Now this is the buffer in the memory. This is the buffer in the memory. Buffer means memory location. Buffer in the memory. Buffer in the memory. Then forks two child process which write to or read from this buffer. Now, who is writing to the buffer? The grep is writing the buffer. Now LPR, the local printer, is going to read from the buffer. So that is how it's going to work. Now there is another way of sharing the data, which we call it as a threads. Okay. So the concept of threads, shall I stop with this for today?
Yes, Mr.
Okay, so because this is a new concept and we are going to complete the lecture, so I will start from the concept of thread, because it is a new concept and we need to have some time to explain this. I will stop with this for today. So next class, when we come back on Thursday, we are going to discuss about threads, and we'll complete the remaining part of the lecture, which is message passing system for sharing the data. Let's stop with this for today.